Adam Merlin, president of Merlin Auto Group. Today we're going to talk about one of my bucket list cars and how to buy and what to look for when you're searching for a Ferrari 512TR. So I've always wanted a 512TR, and in looking around I identified this car. Sotheby's had it down at their Amelia Island auction, and once I started digging into it, I realized it really could be the car that would satisfy my bucket list desire to get a 512TR. This is a 1993. They made the 512TR from 92 to 94. The previous generation was just the Testarossa, which was 84 to 91. Some slight changes. This car has about 38 more horsepower, different front and rear bumpers. It's all body colored here. Most Testarossas, you'll see that rocker panel's black. Bigger wheels, a little more power, a little more modern. I've always loved the styling of this car. And when Ramsey Potts at RM Auctions told me that this car was down in Amelia Island, I started digging into it and I got really excited. It has incredible pedigree. It has service records back to day one. It has the original window sticker. It was recently serviced by a Ferrari dealer extensively. It's Classy Case certified with the red book. The car is absolutely magnificent. I've bought thousands of Ferraris in my life. This is the second one I've ever bought that had the original full set of luggage with it. All of these things, when you're a collector, are so important. And it kind of got to one of those areas where it was a little weird for me, because usually I'm used to buying cars for inventory. I don't usually shop at the retail auctions like Sotheby's and Gooding to buy those cars, but because this is a bucket list car for me, I thought this could be one that I could hold on to for a really long time as a good investment. When I got down to Amelia Island and checked out the car, I was expecting a #1 absolutely premier car. And to tell you I was disappointed isn't exactly true, but the car was definitely not a trailer queen. It was not a car that's been trailered its entire life. It does have 10,000 miles on it. It shows incredibly well, but because it's probably a really strong 2 instead of a 1, I was actually excited because with the mindset of I'm gonna keep this car and enjoy it for a few years, I can actually drive it and enjoy it and not just have to trailer it from car show to car show and try to win platinum awards. It is an incredibly original, well-pedigreed example that is just absolutely gorgeous, and that's why I bought it. So no different than any other Ferrari. One of the things you're definitely going to look for when you get in is the integrity of the dash, the leather. You know, we always say you can make the outside of a car look perfect, but it's really the interior of the car that kind of can tell you the kind of life it's led. This interior is all original. The seats have never been dyed. This dash is original. It's never been recovered. It's in incredibly good shape. Like I mentioned before, there are a couple minor imperfections, but overall and the originality, it's absolutely fantastic. From a drivability perspective, this car is just awesome. I mean, it's a 20-year-old car, but it drives more like a modern Ferrari than an older classic Ferrari. Even though it's only 38 more horsepower than the previous generation Testarossa, I think the single plate clutch versus the dual plate clutch that they used in the older models makes it where it just has a much more modern feel. The steering is just absolutely amazing. The other thing is all the interior controls, the buttons and everything have been refined for the 512 over the Testarossa, and I do find it much easier to use, which is something that a lot of people say. In Atlanta, it's March and it's 85 degrees today. The air conditioning in this thing is absolutely ice cold. These are things that, you know, being the largest independent Ferrari sales and service center in the country and having people that can fix these things, you know, they certainly factor into my buying decisions. But when we get a car that's well sorted, that we don't have to go through and do all this stuff to on the front side, it helps us too. I mean, that costs money either way. And it also just shows how the previous owner cared for the car. I always talk about deferred maintenance. With this car, I could tell that the previous ownership took care of the car the way that I would, which makes it my kind of car. So all of those things, coupled with the fact it's really a blast to drive. I had never driven one. In fact, I ended up buying this car without driving it, and the first time I ever drove one was when this car was delivered to our dealership. And I'm absolutely blown away by just how incredible the 512TR drives and how much I love this thing.